So this is the main one, which is teaching how the written word works. There's a bit of an introduction and such, but the main thing is that these are the activities I put together for the intervention study that I did, starting just seeing how the matrix works and using them to make word sums. The main thing here, of course, is to see how the pronunciation shifts, but the spelling of all the morphemes stays the same. And on this one, there's just one E that disappears, and then over here they work farther, and here there's a few where the E, silent E disappears, and then you start to learn through kind of a problem-solving approach, well, what's the pattern for that? So now you take a basic move, M-O-V-E, that takes consonant vowel suffixes and you organize them and you see the spelling, so you develop a theory, and now here you're learning what the patterns and such are. And then you move to this activity where you find all the kind of difficulties of making sure. So here, agree, you don't drop an E because it's not a single silent E. With being and been, again, it's single but it's not silent. So those kind of patterns come up, and then the idea is that now in this book I have all the background that teachers wouldn't have otherwise for those patterns. So after you do these, you learn these patterns, then you learn how to practice them with learning how to use the suffix, the flow charts. The other thing that's important to know is that for those of you with real spelling access, each of the activities points to themes in the toolbox that might relate. So here, suffixing patterns. On this one, there's the idea that move ends with a silent E, but doesn't have a long O. There's a learning for love theme that's really popular, that's good for that. So the idea is that each one of these, hey Skylar, that you go through all the patterns that there is to know about morphology. The dropping silent E's, changing Y to I, doubling consonants, and it's always through a problem-solving kind of inquiry approach. Then bound bases, twin bases. So all of these are the things that I did for my intervention study, and I did that in 20 classes, but I would normally do much farther. And I guess the only thing I would say is that it's that you can. The hope is that you use these things, but that you go off and do your own ideas as well, and that's what pointing to all these themes are. All right.
And now we cut to my son.
He just lost his pants. Okay, the other little booklet is specifically about making word webs. This is our little emblem everywhere, and this is specifically lessons I built for basically working in a grade 2 and a 3 class, where the teachers wanted a hand to see how to make it work for those guys. There's a description of them, but I'm giving examples of all sorts of different ones. The actual activity that is here, it shows you how you go from a matrix to the words from that matrix, and then it is something that you could put on an overhead. What I do is I then cut those on the overhead sheet and then arrange them with the class to show the structure of a word web. So there's that one with the base help, H-E-L-P, and then this one for cover. And again, just so that you can model it on an overhead, and there's a kind of ways of making choices of what the header words and such are. And I've just found that teachers are really keen on these word webs, but when they start them, they sometimes get stuck on a few things, and that's what I've tried to make clear. And the only other thing is that I want to make sure that it doesn't appear like these are the only word webs. Examples of these other kinds that use the same idea but expand them. So that's the little booklet that we got. And if you come visit us, then this is the spot where we do our little course. The birds are chirping.
There will be more flowers.
There will be more flowers.